Weddell seals are at home on the ice. They live far from open water and use cracks and holes to get in and out of the water and to breathe. In October and November, the seals haul themselves out on the ice to give birth and raise pups.
The crystals on the bottom are called anchor ice. In shallow places like this, ice forms on almost anything the water touches, so it grows in kind of an ice garden. Sometimes it picks up stones or even living creatures like this sea urchin, and then carries them up to the ceiling.
To me, these noises sound like alien radio signals in science fiction movies. They're actually the calls of Weddell seals. The seals will go anywhere they can find a hole for air.
I've dived in a lot of places that are famous for clear water. The Great Barrier Reef, the Bahamas, Tahiti, Hawaii. This is far clearer. At this time of year, you can see almost a quarter of a mile.
These strange things are called brine channels. Up on the surface, salt is concentrated in the frozen sea ice and makes brine, which is so salty that it stays liquid even when the surface ice cools it to extremely low temperatures. When this cold brine flows downward, it freezes the less salty seawater around it, making these tubes. We're diving in shallow water because most of the action is on the ocean floor. These sea stars have just finished off an urchin and are attacking each other. Some of these animals are far bigger than similar species elsewhere. This sea spider is a giant compared to its cousins that live in warmer water. Isolation helps these animals evolve differently, and their slow metabolism in the cold lets them grow older and bigger.
Clear water is great for us, but hard on the life here. There's been no sunlight for 4 months, so nothing has been growing in the water. Everything is hungry. This anemone may look pretty, but it's a ravenous predator. The current has carried this jelly too close to the bottom. The anemone snagged it. Sometimes they can eat an entire jelly.
After about 40 minutes, you start to really get cold. It's time to get back to that warm hut. Under the ice, you have no clue what the weather's been doing, but this is Antarctica. It's sure to be different. When you come out, you get oriented by looking for Mount Erebus. There it is, smoking away in the distance.
The penguins know how to get around better than the team. In fact, research has shown that their funny waddle is actually very efficient. There are all sorts of mysteries under the ice. One is a leopard seal. He's near the top of the food chain. A wolf of the Antarctic. A penguin eater. But out on the surface, he's about as agile as a slug, so the penguin is safe. For now. Kular Cliffs, the next dive site, is too far away from McMurdo Station for the team to use a drilling rig.
Under the surface, the fresh water seeping back out from the rocks is frozen by the colder seawater. It looks like a frozen waterfall. The sunshine has been feeding energy to algae, which is turning green and golden. Soon the algae will bloom in the water and end our season by ruining the visibility. But for now, it's just plain beautiful.
You see all this big ice, but fish live right next to it, no problem. They make their own antifreeze in their pale blood. The ice isn't ominous to them, it's home.
Every year, Antarctica sheds thousands of icebergs like flakes of its skin. Everyone knows that icebergs hide most of their mass underwater, which is why the team wants to shoot near one. But that, like everything else here, is going to be harder than they thought. Christian and Rob have been out for 2 days looking for bergs to explore. Their report is not good.
Some scientists think this constant churning of the bottom is one of the reasons that life down here is so diverse. I've seen these dimples on most bergs. They may be caused by the way the ice is eroded by currents swirling against it. Young fish take refuge in the dimples. I guess when this berg melts, they'll just go find another one. It's not as if there's a shortage.
This is a desmodina, the same kind of jelly that was nailed by the anemone. It's riding higher in the current though, fishing with 40-foot long tentacles.
It has been another great dive, but this dive costs the team big time.
These unusual soft corals have evolved to sweep the sand for food, a behavior that has never been seen anywhere else. Among scallops, these brittle stars fight each other like stick warriors. The red ones eat the white ones, if they can catch them.
The U.S. Coast Guard icebreaker Polar Star arrives to cut a passage for a freighter to bring in supplies to Mactown. In the strips of open water behind the icebreaker, minke whales appear. They're feeding on plankton that has bloomed in the water under the ice in the constant daylight. Minkies, among the most common whales in the world, are still hunted in Antarctic waters. The sudden appearance.
The orcas take advantage of these leads as soon as they open to get as far into the ice as they can. They're hunting the giant Antarctic cod, a fish that can reach over 100 pounds and uses the ice edge as shelter.
Everyone thinks that orcas eat penguins. These Adelie penguins seem to think so too. But scientists haven't actually seen a penguin eaten here, so they don't know for sure that it happens. Still, when whales are around, penguins play it safe.
There's like 20 whales right there.
Orcas seem to watch us by doing what we call spy hopping, checking out the surface. They may also spy hop to look for new leads or to navigate back to open water. Our last day, Rob is filming me with his digital camera. And suddenly, something happens that reminds me that for all our study, we still know very little about life under the ice.
Has turned this hostile place into a home. But it's tough being on the ice, and at the end of all this work and cold, the team is happy to be heading home. Antarctica is the one continent where humans may forever be strangers. But we have looked past the big white shield and have seen the beauty and mystery that the ice tries to hide.